I apologize for the background noise. You're gonna hear a bit of fuzziness or static in this recording. It's 105 degrees outside right now, and I gotta keep my AC running, otherwise I'm just gonna melt into the floor. Today I figured I'd sit down and quickly whip up a little filler video to tide everyone over as I work on my next main channel project. I made a video covering team recognition in Team Fortress 2. I never thought that I could make a video about this and then have that topic even come close to something that resembles a point of contention. It was really bizarre seeing people trying to twist themselves in knots attempting to justify any situation where you couldn't tell what team someone is on by simply looking at the color of their character model. Which is, you know, the deliberate, clear design choice from the developers that shows what team someone is on, but I don't get it. Maybe you just have people being contrarian, I don't know. But overall, like 99.99% of you agree that team recognition must be preserved and strictly adhered to when making cosmetics. But if you need a refresher as to why this is important, the main video is linked in the description below, but as a brief summary, one of TF2's fundamental design principles is its gameplay readability. Character models are deliberately colored in such a way that from any possible angle, players can tell what team someone is on at a glance. Instantly. Colors are placed in such a way that players' eyes are trained to seek out expected default colors that facilitate team recognition. When it comes to paint regions on cosmetics, smaller, conservative paint regions preserve team recognition because they're not occluding the primary colors. But when paint regions get too big, they can cause problems. Lest I remind everyone of certain cosmetics, either with egregious paint regions or an overall lack of primary team color, that can very easily do this. For obvious reasons, this is a bad thing. If you can't tell what team someone is on, or get fooled as to what team someone is on, that gives players an unfair advantage. Man, it's almost like we have an entire class designed around that very principle. Speaking of which, this past summer, we received yet another cosmetic that hurts team recognition. The Tuxedo Royale. And I previously praised this cosmetic. I think it looks great. I think it's well modeled. I think it's well textured. Fits the game nicely as a Bond reference. Spies makes sense. It's well thought out, except for its one glaring flaw, which I did not appreciate at the time, the absolutely gargantuan paint region. My god. With the Spy, his entire body is team colored, either with a muted red or a muted blue. These are the main colors and color placements that players' eyeballs are trained to expect. If players are allowed to change nearly 40% of that expected color to something else from the front, arguably the most important angle in TF2, gee, it's almost as if though I made an entire video as to why this is a bad idea. Yes, I measured the pixels. It's almost 40%, and about 30% from the sides. From the back, obviously, yes, this cosmetic won't cause issues, but that doesn't matter. If at any angle you can't tell what team someone is on, this is objectively a bad thing. I'm also fairly certain that the Tuxedo Royale officially has the largest paint region in TF2. More so than the Water Waders, that's for sure, because I checked. The Beat Man might come close to this or slightly exceed it, but thank God that one's Halloween restricted. And while this cosmetic does desaturate paint colors in a rather pleasing way, it solves one problem, but creates another. The expected offender, that is color similar to slate, which would turn a red Spy blue, is now almost gray on this cosmetic. Fantastic, no issues here. But on a blue Spy, Manco Orange or Dark Salmon Injustice nearly match a red Spy's default body colors. When a player is presented with a default blue jacket and a nearly default red shirt and legs, in that split second where it matters, which part is painted? Which part is not? No player has encyclopedic knowledge on every cosmetic in their paint regions. How in the hell can someone know what team this guy is on? This is really bad. And as for red team, in place of color similar to slate, you can just use lime green, a nice dark cool color. You throw in a couple more cosmetics that change parts of the Spy that people normally expect to be team colored, like his entire damn head, and yeah sure, fuck it, throw a skin in there for good measure, and you're off to the races. But you know what? Enough of my yapping. I'll let the game speak for itself.
I mean, normally that's a good way to do it, but...
Oh, I fooled him! Come on, let me kill him. Yes! I fooled that guy.
Accidentally loaded into Megalo and it takes forever.
No. They might have.
He didn't know. He didn't know.
I felt like I rushed the. Like we did rush the development.
He just walked past me like I'm on his team.
Did.
Probably arbitrary.
Valve secretly loves the blue team.
He just walked right past me, dude.
Real quick. Give me a second.
The only good AI video I've ever seen is fucking.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, see the
Did he not know? I feel like I need to emphasize that I'm really bad at Spy. He's easily my worst class. And even someone as horrible at Spy as I am could easily fool people when I shouldn't be. Were I more skilled at Spy, I could have definitely capitalized off of these brief moments of confusion and caused some real damage, but even with my incompetence as the Frenchman, I had people bump into me. I tricked medics into trying to heal me and got them killed. I fooled people on my own team quite a bit. I could just stand still and no one would notice me. It's an oddly familiar sight, isn't it? And I did all of this without disguising once. It did take some trial and error, mainly because I had to position myself so that my back wasn't to the enemy team, but that doesn't matter. The frequency at which you can fool someone like this does not matter. It should never happen in TF2. There should be no moment in this game where there is a sliver of a doubt as to what team someone is on when you're looking at their player model, for new players or veteran players. Period. In my opinion, this cosmetic doesn't even need a paint region. It looks fine without it. So why do this? And I strongly believe that this paint region, among those with other cosmetics, should be changed so they don't hurt gameplay. But of course, Valve won't change these cosmetics because people have already spent money on them. This was confirmed by the creator of the Water Waders, that pyro cosmetic, who reached out to Valve about the paint region, and they said, nah, that's kind of fucked up. It's really sad to see that even Valve doesn't give a shit about preserving the fucking gameplay. It's really bad. Sure, these are isolated incidents, but it shouldn't be happening at all. It really is fucked up. A retort that I can already see coming is, well, a spy is always cloaked or disguised, so it doesn't matter what color he is. He's always meant to confuse people, which obviously isn't true. A spy isn't always cloaked or disguised. When he isn't, you should be able to tell what team he's on. That's the point of a disguise. It defeats the purpose and the downsides of his disguises, diminishing the risks a spy has to take in order to engage other players, creating unfair advantages, and ultimately mucking up the gameplay. The other main counter-argument that I know I'll see, because I saw this in the comment section of my team recognition video, oh, well, you spy check anyways, so just spy check everyone, which twists spy checking to make it seem as if though shooting everyone that looks like they're on your team is something you normally do, which you don't. No player does this. The paranoia caused by a spy's presence causing you to spend time shooting everyone that looks like a teammate is a bad thing, because you're wasting your time looking for the spy instead of engaging the other team. If someone looks like they're on your team and they aren't playing spy, they're acting like the class they're playing as, shooting their weapons, moving at their speed. If someone looks like they're on your team and they are playing spy, I don't know about you, but when I see an undisguised spy that looks like he's on my team, I'm even less suspicious, because I feel bad for the guy. I know he's about to get fucked up because he's out in the open, not that he's about to fuck me up, which is probably why I was able to get away with what I did. And before I go, I've seen some awful takes about this cosmetic. Apparently, if you can't see this as a red spy, you simply lack the awareness to play the game. Of course, on a neutral background, given all the time in the world to analyze a still image, yes, someone can tell this is a red spy, especially when they're told it's a red spy. But in the visual context of TF2, when you're actually playing the game, in the fractions of a second when someone appears on your screen amongst all of the other visual noise, and you're processing if they're friend from foe, very obviously, this cosmetic will confuse people. Consider this video as valid criticism. According to this guy, I can't. According to this guy, every player either has beer goggles or is legally blind, because in his mind, in his eyes, players are supposed to average colors together into big blurry blobs. I can't. Dude, whatever you were smoking when you typed this, please give me some of that shit, because this is hilariously brain dead. Yes, players totally can't distinguish between areas of different colors, and totally don't get confused when their eyes are met with a spy that is half red and half blue. Clearly they blur all of these colors together. And apparently, if you're not seeing the game this way, if you're not seeing the game and this spy as a big blurry blob, you can't read or drive. Which is funny because if everything was blurry like this, you shouldn't be driving. Get your eyes checked. Ah, God. It's such a shame that item creation from the workshop and item selections from Valve have become so far removed from any sort of standards, and people are so nonchalant as to actually think like this. It's to the point where they actually hurt gameplay. As time goes on, it's only gonna get worse. Valve doesn't care, the people who make items don't care, and the people mocking the game don't care. Sure, most of you, like the vast majority of you, will see something like this and agree. I still care about the game, and I want to see the game treated well and to have at least the sanctity of the gameplay preserved. I want to see this game treated right, so I'm gonna keep making videos like this. I can't get over this fucking, I can't get, like, do you see books like this? Is this how you read? Like, he just even contradicts himself by saying, oh yeah, I can read words, I can tell these colors apart, but when you look at the spy, you can't. Ah, fuck me, man, it's just too good. That's like the only reason why I made this video, is because it's just so easy to knock this shit down. Ah!